Hello and a warm welcome to MLC TV News Hour, reaching live from the city of Lokoja, the confluent state of Nigeria. I am Matthias Ayodeji Peter. The news headlines. World leaders pay tributes. Britain mourns. Charles becomes king. Court stops revocation of broadcast station licenses again. North Korea declares itself a nuclear weapons state. And Chelsea appoints Graham Potter as new head coach. Now the news in detail. UK Prime Minister Buhari, Biden, Obama, Macron, other hails Britain's longest reigning monarch. Eulogies from global leaders and leading personalities all over the world poured in for Queen Elizabeth II, the United Kingdom's longest reigning monarch, died on Thursday. She died peacefully at Balmoral Castle, her estate in the Scottish Islands, in the afternoon, marking the end of an era in the United Kingdom.
Born Elizabeth Alexandra Mary Windsor, she emerged as the Queen in February 1952 after the death of her father, King George VI, and reigned for 70 years. The Queen's demise was greeted with stunned silence around the world, followed by reactions from global leaders and ordinary people as the flag was lowered at Windsor Castle, the Queen's beloved home. The UK Prime Minister Liz Truss, who was appointed by the Queen on Tuesday, described her as the rock upon which modern Britain was built. The United States President, Joe Biden, and First Lady, Jill Biden, in a statement, said Elizabeth was more than a monarch, describing her as a steadying presence and a source of comfort for many Britons. The American First Family said Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II was more than a monarch. She defined an era. In a world of constant change, she was a steadying presence and a source of comfort and pride for generations of Britons, including many who have never known their country without her. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau also expressed his grief over the monarch's passage. According to him, the Queen's service to Canadians will forever remain an important part of his country's history. He added, "It was with the heaviest of hearts that we learned of the passing of Canada's longest reigning sovereign, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II." Trudeau wrote in a tweet. French President Emmanuel Macron tweeted, "Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II embodied the British nation's continuity and unity for over 70 years. I remember her as a friend of France, a kind-hearted queen who has left a lasting impression on her country and her century." Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky expressed sorrow over Elizabeth's death on behalf of the war-weary people of Ukraine. Former British Prime Minister Tony Blair described the Queen as the matriarch of the United Kingdom, adding, "We have lost not just our monarch, but the matriarch of our nation, the figure who more than any other brought our country together, kept us in touch with our better nature, personified everything which makes us proud to be British," Blair said in a statement. Former U.S. President Bill Clinton observed that throughout her remarkable 70-year reign, she led Britain through great transformations with unfailing grace, dignity, and genuine care for the welfare of all her people. Former U.S. Presidents George Bush and Jimmy Carter were also effusive in their praises for the departed monarch, whom they said inspired many Americans. Former American President Barack Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama wrote, "Back when we were just beginning to navigate life as President and First Lady, she welcomed us to the world stage with open arms and extraordinary generosity. Time and again, we were struck by her warmth, the way she put people at ease, and how she brought her considerable humor and charm to moments of great pomp and circumstance. Another ex-US leader, Donald Trump, said he will cherish his time together with the Queen, recalling her generosity and sense of humor. The president, Muhammadu Buhari, in a statement by his spokesman, Garba Shehu, expressed sadness over the monarch's death. He stated, "My family and I and the more than 200 million Nigerians have learned with immense sadness of the passing of the Queen and the end of her unique and wonderful 70-year reign. Her late Majesty was the only British sovereign known to 90% of our population." Mourning Her Majesty, the presidential candidate of the ruling All Progressives Congress in Nigeria, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, said the United Kingdom has lost one of its greatest ever monarch, and the world has lost a much cherished, revered, and admired icon. A few hours after her death, her eldest son, Prince Charles, reportedly emerged as King of England, who will officially be known as King Charles III.
The federal government has stepped up its commitment to block leakages in the nation's solid mineral sector of the economy to boost revenue. This was revealed in Lokoja, the KOGI state capital, during a workshop organized by the Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission for stakeholders in the mining businesses. Our reporter has more.
The economic importance of mining cannot be overemphasized. Nigeria's neighboring country, Ghana, has classified its mining sector as a very vital segment of its economy and has played a significant role in its socio-economic development since the colonial period, and they have continued to explore the gift of nature for their benefit. Nigeria's mining sector is presently not fully harnessed, and hence the coming together of federal, state, companies and individuals in the mining business to converge in the city of Lokoja to brainstorm on how to maximize the abundance of mineral resources deposited in all states of the Federation, to generate and harness the produce, to boost the economy of the country, especially now that many countries suffer inflation. The federal government had determined to identify and block all leakages in the mining sector of the economy. Stakeholders at the meeting have this to say.
Now that we're on field, we were able to interact with the artisanal miners and the major player in the industry. So with this, we know that by the time we wrap up this program and the follow-up, the revenue accruing from solid mineral to the Federation accounts will definitely increase. Yes, it's part of our recommendation on the last session in 2016. The same recommendation will be done in 2022, so that we'll see how we can harmonize both the artisan miner and the stakeholder and the major players, because it's absurd for somebody to hold a whole local government as his lease right and is not exploring any of the mineral there. We're losing revenue from those titles. What we'll do from our own end, we'll see how we can use the legislation through the National Assembly to amend the Mining Act.
The Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission, Abuja, represented the chairman represented by the Federal Commissioner is here in KOGI State to sensitize the stakeholders purposely for monitoring of revenue and at the same time sensitize the miner. You discover a lot of miners are not even paying their royalties. Some of them have not even adding any value to the nation, whereas they are adding more problem to the country. So as such, this program is to enlighten the people and also to see the government participation in ensuring that there is proper monitoring of the miners' activities in KOGI State.
To make it as a point of call to see that solid mineral is being developed in the state for proper revenue generation to the state and the country in particular. The state government has done wonderfully well by providing enabling environment for the miners to operate in the state without no hitches.
Despite the government's intervention, much still needs to be done to discourage illegal miners. In the government house Lokoja, the state governor BELLO, represented by his deputy Edward Onoja, described KOGI as the solid mineral capital of Nigeria, worried about the loss of revenue through the activities of illegal miners. He called for a review of the law of the Commission to enable the assessment of revenue lost, adopt better options for collection, for effective monitoring and accountability as the country forges ahead. He commended the Commission for the decision taken to help the nation to optimize all resources, saying it will amount to an increase in economy and state allocation.
And if we are able, by this exercise, identify the quantity they extract daily and what they manufacture daily, we would be able to put figures to what has been lost over the years, believing that the laws that have set the Commission up would also give them the enablement to do a backward review of what should have been paid that has not been paid, so that it can be collected, and then going forward monitor on a month-on-month basis what should be remitted and that should be remitted. Once this is done, we believe that at the end of the day, our allocation as a state will be boosted.
Mining is usually referred to as the extraction of valuable minerals, cum other geological materials from the earth's crust, usually from lode, vein, ore body, seam, reef, or placer deposits. These deposits constitute the mining package that is of economic interest to the prospective miner. Ores obtained through mining activities are gemstones, limestone, coal, oil shale, metals, dimension stone, clay, gravel, potash, and rock salt, among others. It was expected that the outcome of the meeting and deliberation will provide template through which all illegal miners will be regularized and the much expected revenue will be effectively harnessed for Nigeria. Khadijat Mohammed, reporting for MLC TV.
A non-governmental organization, the Noble Club 10 KOGI Central, has held a stakeholder retreat on census, peace, and others. Representatives of the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, KOGI Central, Ibra People's Association, EPA, Ibra Youth Congress, EYC, non-governmental organizations, traditional rulers, among others, were among stakeholders at the event. Setting up for census committee at each local government in KOGI Central with a census joint committee of 3 members were part of the recommendations made to avert the previous experience. Our reporter Joshua Adinoyi tells us more.
Analysis of 1991 and 2006 population census in Kogi State indicates that local government areas in Kogi West increased in population between 38.9 and 58.1%. Kogi East 24.2 and 43.5%, but Kogi Central increased in population between 2.4 to 45.6%. Pained by the low population increase of Kogi Central Senatorial District, especially Okene, during the 2006 census exercise, the Noble Club 10 thought it wise to organize the stakeholders meeting to chart a way forward by ensuring the people participate fully in the coming exercise. The Noble Club 10 is an NGO that is focused on the well-being of the people of Kogi Central Senatorial District with the objective to mobilize and sensitize the people towards general development. President of the club, Abdurazak Onivehu, explained that census plays significant role in national planning, hence the need to ensure the people get things right in the coming exercise. Onivehu charged them to take the exercise more serious, stressing that it will go a long way at attracting government's attention to the area.
As a responsible non-governmental organization in the Kogi Central, it is of a priority to us to ensure that the people of Kogi Central are counted in the forthcoming 2023 census. We are coming from a sad and unfortunate experience in the 2006 census, where the people of the Kogi Central were undercounted, and the outcome of that census result is part of our problem today.
First president of the club, Shuaibu Salami, said early preparation for the coming census was important, hence the need for the NGO to embark on the program.
And voters registration. Generally, our people have lukewarm attitudes to this type of events, and we believe the only way we can help ourselves is to sensitize them early enough so that they can be prepared for this all important activity, knowing well the value purpose of census. Government uses it for planning purposes.
A participant at the event, Ohi of Okenwehi, Ahmed Tijani Mohammed Anaje, commended the Noble Club 10 for organizing the stakeholder sensitization meeting, expressing optimism that it will go a long way at helping the people take part in the coming census exercise.
But I believe for them to quickly draw everybody's attention and this sensitization that they put on presently, I believe it will make everybody to be serious when times come in terms of that census. Because if you look around, the government always consider those that has a large number than the people that have few number. With that reason, we really urge each and everyone when the times come for the census that they should try and make sure everybody should come out in masses so that to enable their every individual can be counted.
In addition to several other programs of the Noble Club 10 Kogi Central, the NGO also encourages the people to always participate in government programs that will promote their well-being. Highlight of the meeting include paper presentations and musical display. Joshua Adinoye, MLC TV.
The Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) has declared its readiness to give more support to members of the Ogun Farmers and Commodity Association in its Anchors Borrowers Program. The CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele stated this on Thursday when the Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun led the leadership of the association to the headquarters of the APPOINTS Bank in Abuja. Governor Abiodun, while speaking, expressed his administration's appreciation to the bank for giving maximum support to the state's nominees for the program. He explained that the meeting was also used to deliberate on areas for improvement to include additional beneficiaries who are eager to also benefit from the agricultural linkage opportunity facilitated by his administration for farmers and other value chain actors in Ogun State. Abiodun noted that agriculture remains one of the cardinal policy thrusts of his government, assured that his administration will continue to give agriculture priority with the aim of making Ogun the food basket of the country. If you are just joining us, it's MLC TV News Hour. We'll be right back after the short break. Stay with us.
Get human interest stories right here on MLC TV with entertainment, sports, business, culture, tourism, and fashion news stories all featured on MLC TV. Not forgetting political and current affairs news, state and federal government and people's matters will be discussed regularly on MLC TV. MLC TV, your one-stop online destination for unbiased, accurate news, entrepreneur ideas, and youth matters to the rest of the world. MLC TV, reaching everywhere, informing everyone.
Welcome back. An order by the Federal High Court in Lagos stopping the President Muhammadu Buhari and the National Broadcasting Commission from revoking the licenses of 53 broadcasting stations in the country has been further extended. The order, which was extended, was issued by Justice Akintayo Aluko on August 29 following the motion ex parte by the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project and the Nigerian Guild of Editors. When the case came up for hearing on Thursday, Justice Daniel Osaigo extended the order of interim injunction pending the hearing of the motion on notice and adjourned the case to October 26, 2022 for the hearing of the originating summons. This was disclosed in a statement jointly signed by SERAP Deputy Director Kolawole Oluwadare and the General Secretary NGE Iyobosa Wageran. In a joint statement, both groups said they also sought a declaration that Section 10A of the National Broadcasting Act used by the NBC to unilaterally revoke the licenses of the broadcast stations and shutting down the stations is a violation of the constitutionally and internationally guaranteed right of a fair hearing. Now on politics. Kogi State Governor BELLO has called on members of the All Progressive Congress, APC, to remain united towards winning the forthcoming general elections. Governor Bello made the call during a meeting with candidates for National Assembly, State Assembly elections, aspirants and state officials of the APC in Lokoja. He said there is need for members of the APC in the state to put their differences aside and focus on the coming election. Our reporter has more.
The governor called on the aspirants, candidates and those currently having court cases to withdraw them for amicable resolution and to chart a way forward for the party. Governor Bello maintained that the meeting was called to ensure that the party puts its house in order before the general elections.
Please, my dear brothers, any of you or those of you who might be in court or seeking legal redress, I urge you, I plead with you, withdraw those court cases. Withdraw them so that we can, out of court, settle ourselves, which is the best way. We have those of us that are even up here today who were in one way or the other not to be selected. But today, to the glory of God Almighty, they are where they are. And they will still move higher. Let me give you an example. Here we have Senator Jibril Issa Echocho, who was then in PDP, supposed to be the flag bearer. In fact, he won. In fact, he was the flag bearer. He was denied in the broad daylight, and somebody else came on board. But because God said, I will be the governor, they denied him. Probably if he were, I wouldn't have been. Thank you very much. You understand? And we have several others that are here today. So please, my dear brothers and sisters, the fact that you are not elected or selected or chosen by the system does not mean that you are less of all of those who contested.
He charged aspirants not to feel disappointed about the outcome of the primaries, but support the candidates so they can be good representatives of the party.
I'm appealing to you. My appeal is to you that please support those who have been elected or selected to represent us. It is just 4 years. Only, just 4 years. For that person to prove himself. And then within that 4 years, for you to prove yourself that you are worthy to have been selected and or to have been elected.
The governor declared that the money spent by aspirants while pursuing their ambition will be refunded. He urged the leadership of APC in the state to consider aspirants for appointment after the election, to let them know that their efforts were not in vain. Governor Bello admonished that all hands should be on deck for the APC to record maximum success in next year's general election.
Support those that have been elected, starting from Senate, Reps, and Assembly, and of course, ultimately, our presidential candidate. I contested. I did not win. I did not lose. I learned. The person who God have chosen and elevated is Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We are going to support him 100%. We will support Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu 100% to win this coming election.
The state APC chairman, Abdullahi Bello, said the meeting was called at the instance of the governor to reconcile aggrieved members and to rub minds together for the progress of the party. Joshua Adenoy for MLC TV.
Factional governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party in Ogun State, Otumba Segun Showumi, on Thursday declared that nobody has enough resources to buy him off the ballot in the forthcoming elections in the state. He also dispelled rumors that he was being sponsored by certain interests to scuttle the chances of the party, insisting that the primary election conducted by the Adibutu camp could not stand and that the one that produced him, Showumi, as a candidate followed all the rules. He was responding to a question on whether he was being paid to cause crisis in the PDP during his pre-campaign interaction with journalists in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. Showumi said, contrary to mischievous reports that he was being paid by some political leaders to cause crisis in the state chapter of the PDP, his ambition was built on improving the socio-economic condition of the state with what he described as the New Deal for Ogun people. The governorship candidate, who was a spokesperson for the Atiku Abubakar presidential campaign in 2019, said it was not only irritating but also insulting for anyone to insinuate that he lacked the capacity to run a good campaign, whether in terms of resources or not. He insisted that he remained the only experienced and qualified candidate to administer the affairs of the state at this time. Showumi said he doesn't accept, for instance, that Ogun can afford to have a high number of out-of-school children who are no longer interested in education. He said he do not accept that given their pedigree in peer reviews exams like NECO, WAEC and others, they will still be so low compared to other states. He do not accept that whatever it is that they call their health intervention really gives no comfort to the citizens. And now on foreign. North Korea has passed a law declaring itself to be a nuclear weapon state, according to state news agency KCNA. The country's leader Kim Jong-un called the decision irreversible and ruled out the possibilities of any talks of denuclearization. The law also enshrines the country's right to use a preemptive nuclear strike to protect itself. Despite crippling sanctions, Pyongyang has conducted 6 nuclear tests between 2006 and 2017. It has continued to advance its military capability in breach of the United Nations Security Council resolutions to threaten its neighbors and potentially even bring the U.S. mainland within striking range. Kim carried long-range launches and nuclear tests in 2019 following 2 headline-grabbing but inconclusive summits with the then U.S. President Donald Trump. But talks between the countries have since stalled. Although the Biden administration has indicated it's willing to talk to Pyongyang, it hasn't said whether President Joe Biden would meet Kim. The White House also said its attempts to contact Pyongyang and overtures of help over its COVID outbreak has gone unanswered so far. The U.S. reviewed its North Korea policy last year and reiterated that complete nuclearization of the Korean Peninsula was the goal. Biden said he would pursue it with a mix of diplomacy and stern deterrence. Kim responded by saying his country must prepare for both dialogue and confrontation. Meanwhile, tensions on the Korean Peninsula have spiked this year, with Pyongyang firing a record number of ballistic missiles. South Korea and the U.S. have responded with a volley of missiles and the largest joint military exercise on the peninsula in years. And on sports, let's now join Jonah Malik for the sports update.
And on sports updates, Graham Potter has been appointed as Chelsea's new manager on Thursday after leaving Brighton to replace the sacked Thomas Tuchel at Stamford Bridge. Potter has agreed a 5-year contract to take charge of the Premier League club, who praised his progressive football and innovative coaching. The 47-year-old earned widespread admiration for his work at Brighton. He led Brighton to a 9th place finish last season and took them up to 4th in the table this term, while demanding entertaining and tactically astute performance from his players. Potter's first game as Chelsea's boss will be a derby at West London neighbours Fulham on Saturday. Chelsea chairman Todd Bonney, who asked Tuchel just 7 games into the new season, believes Portal will fit perfectly with his vision for the future at Stamford Bridge. A Bowley-led consortium completed its takeover of the club earlier this year, bringing to an end Roman Abramovich's reign. Still on sports, Nigeria's world record holder Toby Amusan set a new record on Thursday as she won another trophy after finishing in 12.29 seconds to successfully defend a Diamond League title. She won the women's 100-meter hurdle at this year's Diamond League in Zurich. Kendra Harrison of the United States and Bethany Anderson of Jamaica finished second and third respectively behind the champion. The 25-year-old had in August won the gold medal in the women's 100-meter hurdle at the 2022 Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. Amusan is the first Nigerian to win a gold medal at the championship with a wing spread display in Eugene, Oregon. She also defended her African Championship title with a 12.59 seconds. Amusan has been a leading model for females in the athletic field, both home and abroad. And that's sports update on MLC TV News. I am Malik Jonah reporting. Back to our caster for more stories.
Thank you, Jonah, for the update. On entertainment, fans of Netflix The Crown may have to wait longer than 2023 for the debut of its 6th and final season in the wake of Queen Elizabeth II's death. According to Deadline, show creator Peter Morgan hinted that filming, which recently began, will stop out of respect to Queen Elizabeth II. The British royal family at 6:30 p.m. on Thursday announced that the 96-year-old monarch has died, hours after a doctor announced concerns for her declining health. According to fans' reports, the Queen was no stranger to the show after joining son Prince Edward for a much talked about binge watching of season 1. While season 5 of The Crown is expected to drop on the streamer this November, its 6th season has already been greenlighted by the streamer, with filming kicking off recently. The season was expected to chronicle the Queen's ascent to the throne shortly after her wedding to Prince Philip in 1947. Often tagged one of Netflix's most expensive shows, with each season costing over $100 million to produce, The Crown is also multi-award winning with a staggering 129 awards from 422 nominations. Crossing over to Africa, Ramon Hush Puppy Abbas has appealed to the United States Judge Ortiz's right to tamper justice with mercy and hand him a lighter jail term ahead of his sentencing later this month, saying he has become a changed person after scoring high in cleaning activities. Hush Puppy's record, seen by People's Gazette as part of his memorandum countering sentencing recommendations of prosecutors, showed he performed well and related well with other inmates. His report card for Central Valley Workshop for Prisoners showed the internet fraudster put up very good in attitude, quality of work, dependability and productivity between July 2021 when he was enrolled and November 2022 when he completed work. He is currently working within his prison cleaning windows and showers, for which he has received great personal evaluation. Abbas' lawyer Louis Shapiro wrote in the memorandum submitted on September 5th. Prosecution and defense have been arguing over the appropriate sentence for Abbas, who was first arrested in Dubai in June 2020 and summarily transferred to the prison in the United States as his trial continued. While the prosecution led by Assistant U.S. Attorney Kaladun Shobaki demanded 11 years in prison and $2.2 million in restitution and fines, Shapiro said his client had become a changed person in prison and should be handed a lighter sentence of about 2 years in prison. Shapiro said his client had become a changed person in prison and should be handed a lighter sentence of about 2 years in prison. Shapiro also said Abbas has 3 minor children in London, US, and Dubai to care for, as well as his ailing parents in Nigeria. Judge Wright is scheduled to hear the sentencing argument of the prosecution and defense on September 21st before delivering his judgment in the matter. And that's the size of our package today. Join us next week at this same hour to watch our news as we give you updates on happenings within and across the globe. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Malachi TV. Like and follow our Facebook page, MLC TV. Instagram at MLC TV 2021, Twitter at MLC TV 1. For your event coverage, information, contribution, advert and sponsorship, please call any of our numbers displayed on your screen. Join us Friday and Saturday to watch our special programs. It's Malachi TV, reaching you everywhere, informing everyone. I am Matthias Ayodeji. Please continue to be your brother's keeper to build a united and peaceful society. Thanks till I come your way next week.